We're just 18 kilometers from the city of Budapest here in Hungary, where today's Formula One race is about to take place. It's the Hungarian Grand Prix. "14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaro ring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around the lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Albon, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Norris, Sainz, Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Romain Grosjean and George Russell. Latifi and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Chris, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Guys, today it is yet another last to first challenge. Guys, I'm keeping up with these. I'm going to do one for every single race this season. Mark my words. As we go to 5 red lights here at the Hungarian Grand Prix in the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Lights are on and they are off. The lights were held for quite a long time, but it's lights out and away we go, as David Croft would say from Sky Sports. But we have got a good start here. George Russell actually got bipped by his teammate off the line, but we're going to go down the middle. Luckily, no damage is on, but we do hit the back of Raikkonen. I think the Alphas would be pretty pleased qualifying in 14th and 15th or 13th and 14th or wherever they qualified. But we are going to make a dive bomb down the inside, make it 3 wide with us and the Haas of Kevin Magnussen along with Kimi Raikkonen. Kevin Magnussen tried to fight it there, but we squeezed him onto the apex of turn 3. Going up to turn 4 now on the back of Antonio Giovinazzi. And we accidentally run out wide here. So unfortunately, we're going to have to rejoin the track, and we actually touch wheels with George Russell quite a bit there, cutting the chicane just to get past him. Regular corner cutting on for this race. As always, I'm not very happy. Wow. Excuse me. I am not happy with strict corner cutting on this game, nor am I good at it. Anyway, we are going to make a move on the Haas of Romain Grosjean around the outside of turn 12 here, and we have gotten the move done. Verstappen qualified on pole for this race, I believe, and, well, obviously he did not do that. This video is coming out after qualifying. He still leads on lap 1 as Kimi Raikkonen just parks it on the apex. I don't know if he wanted to let us by, but he just parked it on the apex. But Ferrari power versus Ferrari power. He turned the overtake off, put it down into standard. Down the inside we go of the Iceman in the Alfa Romeo. And I dare say that move was quite easy. You know, obviously, qualifying in real life went just as I suspected. 1-2 for Mercedes. I really hope Bottas can win. I'm a big fan of Valtteri Bottas. Cutting turn 4 quite a large chunk there. Oh, is this the Haas of Kevin Magnussen? Yes, it is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. We've caught up to the back of Kevin Magnussen once again. And the dirty air affecting us there. We actually, we get a little bit of understeer. Not using the curbs as much as I would like to here, and obviously the Ferrari feels very, very understeery, but the reason I chose the Ferrari for this challenge is because usually Hungary suits the Ferrari. Just not on this game, because everybody was thinking Ferrari. We're gonna be understeery as we make a dive bomb down the inside of the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. And that is us up into 15th place, now chasing down the guy who we were trying to make a move around the outside of turn 5 on the first lap, I believe. Running wide here, just, you know, from the dirty air and the slipstream from the car in front. Mr. Antonio Giovinazzi in the other Alfa Romeo. We're going to absolutely send one down the inside. And I'm sorry if my mic is really loud here. Hopefully that is just a little bit better. But we finally get the move done into turn 2 and a turn 3. Next up is the Alpha Tauri of Daniel Kvyat, the Russian, failing to make it out of Q1, and Gasly made it out of into Q3, but obviously had engine trouble. That Honda engine, obviously, I mean, I'm kind of starting to have doubts with it, man. I'm kind of starting to have doubts as we use the curbs, but use the curbs the wrong way. We kind of half dedicated ourselves to these curbs here, and well, not using the full extent of them. Cutting turn 11 quite a large bit. We would have gotten a track invalidation for that one if it were real life. Obviously, the stewards cracking down on people at turns 4, turn 11, and that turn that we just went through, turn 12, in the real-life Hungarian Grand Prix. I really hope it's a good race. I really hope the Mercedes can give us a good race, but we are all over the back of Danny Kvyat. Hopefully, we can get a nice, tight line out of this corner. We have DRS open, rich fuel mix, overtake going in the Ferrari engine. It's Ferrari power versus Honda power. Are we going to absolutely send one down the inside? We are, of Daniel Kvyat. Just like he did on Alex Albon in 2019. He does the switchback of dreams, but we're going to go back down the inside of turn 2, and I dare say that Kvyat has lost that battle. It wasn't as good as him and Alex Albon in 2019. And also, Alex Albon failing to reach Q3 in that Red Bull. And George Russell actually defended his teammate. Or, not his teammate, his mate. You know, Alex Albon and George Russell are really good friends, and he said, you know, Red Bull are making Alex Albon look like a complete idiot. And Max Verstappen actually attacked George Russell for that comment, saying George doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He doesn't know what's going on in the team. So some drama post-qualifying, and just the understeer of this Ferrari. But we're going to absolutely send one on Sergio Perez as he locks up. He has to take the tight line through turn 12, and the power of the Ferrari and the grip of the Ferrari. I dare say the Racing Point is no match for it in the game, but in real life, the Ferrari is definitely no match for the Racing Point. The Racing Points, the pink Mercedes. It's a Mercedes 1, 2, 3, 4 on the grid for tomorrow's race, I dare say. Yeah. Racing Point locking out the second row. Lance Stroll third and Sergio Perez fourth. It's been rumored that Sergio Perez is actually going to be the one leaving Racing Point for Sebastian Vettel next year. And his manager is in contact with not only Haas, but Alfa Romeo as well for potential bail options for Sergio, because obviously he does deserve to stay on the grid as we go down the inside of turn 4 on Pierre Gasly, and that is us promoted into P11, and we have the lead Racing Point of Lance Stroll up next. But obviously it's going to be really interesting what Lawrence Stroll does between his two drivers this year. Sergio Perez, you know, he's been asked so many times this weekend by the media, by the press, are you being replaced? And his answer is, I have a contract for next year. I have a contract till 2022. Lance does not. Who knows? Is Lance's dad gonna fire him from his own team? I mean, that would be some real juicy drama that goes down. But Rich Mix activated, DRS wide open, overtake button. We are using all of that ERS, and we're gonna absolutely send one like we did on Daniel Kvyat and the Alfa Romeo. We are, this time it's more of a controlled lunge, like unlike, you know, Max Verstappen at 2018 China. But we do get the move done on Lance Stroll on lap 6, I believe this is, so 1/3 the way through this race. But I was going into this thinking the Ferrari would actually be pretty good around this track in some clean air. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to attempt the overcut on a lot of these guys. It did say pit window open at the beginning of this lap, but I don't think we're going to pit this lap. But we have actually caught Esteban Ocon at the exact wrong time. This is not the time I wanted to catch Esteban Ocon. You can just see the lack of pace that Renault has, especially in these soft tires. I mean, this is just insane right now. Are we going to absolutely send one on Esteban Ocon? Yes, we are, down the inside. We do make a little bit of contact, I think. but eventually we squeeze him out there. We really are using turn 12 quite a lot today, as Carlos Sainz goes into the pit lane, so we are going to follow Lando Norris through here, and we are promoted up into P9. There's a Mercedes and there's a Red Bull, Valtteri Bottas and Alexander Albon in the pit lane as well. That promotes us up to P6 in this race as we chase down the McLaren of Lando Norris. Our tires aren't looking too bad. They didn't feel too bad when I was actually racing on this track. Take an early apex, take a tighter line through turn 3, get a little bit of oversteer. Just watching that tire degradation counter just to make sure it doesn't degrade too much. We don't want too much tire degradation, but I'm afraid we have gotten our first warning for exceeding track limits in this race here on lap 7. Are we going to absolutely send one? No. We had a little look though, so we are trying to put Lando Norris on a bit of pressure, a lot of pressure actually, as we're having to actually short shift down to 3rd gear and then back up to 4th for some of these corners. Just shows you how much the lack of downforce is on the Ferrari compared to like the Mercedes or Red Bull. And honestly, Lando Norris's pace here on this lap is looking pretty impressive, but I think hopefully he is going to pit on this lap, which he does. So that unleashes us into clear air. We do not have anybody in front of us. Nobody at all. Charles Leclerc is in the pit lanes. And we cut to our pit stop after one more lap of this race. And it's going to be a 2.5 second pit stop from the Ferrari boys. I wish they could do that in real life, not a 3.5 second pit stop. But Alex Albon goes past us. Charles Leclerc goes past us. We're waiting to see Lando Norris on the bottom left. Where is Lando Norris? There is Lando Norris's dot. Are we going to get in front of Lando Norris? Just barely. So the overcut has worked. Maybe not the way that we intended it to, but at least it has worked to get us ahead of not only Carlos Sainz, but Lando Norris. Just shows you the pace of this Ferrari around here compared to that McLaren. I may do a last to first challenge in the Racing Point, the McLaren, and Renault. Obviously, those are midfield cars on this game, so I may have to turn the AI down just for the sake of the video and the viewing capabilities. But we are going to hunt down Charles Leclerc here and see if we can bip 5th place or maybe even 4th place in this race. So we have caught up a few laps later on to the back of Charles Leclerc, just showing how fast we are compared to our teammate. And I gotta say, the Ferrari engine really does sound a lot better than it did in the previous 2 games. On this game here, Charles Leclerc, I bet he has a lot more pace in that Ferrari, just like we do, but he's getting stuck behind Alex Albon. So we're actually gonna make a move round the outside, get good exit here, down the inside for the final corner. And that is Charles Leclerc dealt with in this Hungarian Grand Prix in the F1 2020 game. But it's Honda power versus Ferrari power, just like it was with Danny Kvyat, as we absolutely make a horrendous dive bomb down the inside. And I wonder, are we going to make a flashback? We are going to make a flashback, because I felt really guilty about that move. No damage on. I'm a casual player. Leave me alone for all those esports sweats out there. Just leave me alone. But this time, not hitting the back of the Red Bull. Trying to get a good exit out of turn 1, not using overtake, just biding our time. We're actually red in the fuel, and Charles Leclerc is going to have a little look down the inside, so I decided to leave him the space on the inside if he decided to go for it. But fortunately for us, he did not, and he's just going to have to bide his time if he wants to make another move. But I can sniff 4th place. I can just smell it. Tapping the rear end of Alex Albon, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Because he is just that slow out of these corners. Are we going to absolutely send one down the inside? We are of the chicane. Can we get the move done on the exit? Yes, we can. That is Alex Albon dealt with, and we are up into P4 of this Hungarian Grand Prix. But I am afraid that's probably all that we got done. I didn't close up to Bottas at all, actually. In fact, he kind of pulled away from me. He has a 6-second, I think that's a 6-second gap. 8-second gap, maybe. But honestly, I think we're going to finish P4 in today's race. and I believe it is going to be P4 in the end, rounding the final quarter now on the 18th lap of this race. Max Verstappen has won the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we couldn't do anything about it today.
It's victory in Budapest then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
There you go, guys. Max Verstappen won the Grand Prix from Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Guys, that's been it for me today. I hope we all enjoy the Hungarian Grand Prix just like you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more F1 content, do that. And remember to use code Lord_Gamer for 15% off at forevergripsgaming.com. Join the community Discord, like and subscribe. The link is in the bio. And peace!